Hello and welcome. I am Stacey Thomas, author, ALS advocate, film producer, and talk show host. I'm here to motivate, educate, and entertain. Join me on YouTube every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Stacey Thomas Talk Show, where we have powerful discussions centered around health, relationship, careers, and everyday conversation. Follow me on Facebook, I am Stacey Thomas. On Instagram, Stacey Thomas Talk Show. And don't forget, I can promote you too. Email me at iamstaceythomas@gmail.com. Now, it's time for the show. Hey, everybody. I am your host, Stacey Thomas. And once again, I know you're going to say it. Here we go. Stacey's blessed to have another amazing guest. Some of us are in this world who sit around and dream. Some of us are in this world who sit around at the table and talk, but take no action. Some of us in this world choose to be writers. Some of us choose to be speakers. Some of us choose to be visionaries. I got a little bit of visionary, writer, filmmaker, producer, but he's not your average filmmaker. He's your filmmaker that's not telling you stories just to make you feel good, but to bless you or someone you know. Hello.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Thank you for blessing my platform. I told you earlier, you know what? I looked you up. I said, you know what? Let's see if there's more to him than this big documentary that he's bringing to Richmond, Virginia on April 28th. And boy, to my surprise, I think it's important that I let everyone know you're not new to this. You've got a major documentary out there called On the Brink up under your belt. So I got to ask you, how has your voice from that first documentary, how has it evolved to you making this documentary?
Yeah, good question. So my filmmaking really just came out of a love for certain projects that certain issues that came to my attention. So On the Brink, I actually started with a podcast, and I was interviewing people around Seattle about how are they responding to the change. And there's a Central District, which was the largest enclave of African Americans in the entire Pacific Northwest. And now it's down to single digits in African Americans. And so with that huge change in the demographics, there's been pain, suffering, and they talked about it like it was a death in the family. And so I was just so moved by it. And somebody said, there needs to be a documentary about this. And as you said up the top, I'm a doer. I was like, well, if this person says there needs to be a documentary about it, I love trying to make movies. Let me see what I could do. And it's on PBS right now. And that was just a real blessing to be able to tell the stories, not just of people suffering. And this is what's kind of translated to my current movie, is that I like to tell stories of not just people suffering and the devastation that maybe some of us weren't aware of, but also when people find hope and resilience in that devastation. And so in On the Brink, the devastation that people found hope and resilience within was the devastation of their community. And now we see there's devastation coming from addiction. And both of these situations, it feels like nobody's listening and nobody cares. And so to be able to give a megaphone and say, hey, this is something that's affecting us all, we need to care. That's what I really enjoy doing.
Wow. See, now you're going to have to do a podcast on who's Jeff Shulman, right? And the reason I say that is because you are a young man. Obviously, you're doing what you love doing, but you have tackled on some things that some would say that's not your fight. That's not for you. So tell me, what is it about you that don't mind advocating for others and telling stories?
All right, so I have to do this without crying. So I'm going to start with On the Brink. That'll keep the tears at bay. So On the Brink, there was a man by the name of Carl Livingston. And in my interview with him for my podcast, he said, anywhere that you have influence, use it. Anywhere that you have people's attention, use it. We need people to see what's happening to us here, and we need them to understand it and care and do something about it. And so I'm fortunate enough to be a professor at the University of Washington, where we are intended to better humanity. And so I felt, hey, Carl's telling me anywhere I've influenced, use it. anywhere you have privilege, use it. And I have the greatest privilege to be an educator here at a great institution. And I have an audience, and I was able to use that to help. So I agree with you on that one. That wasn't necessarily my fight, but I was told by enough people that it needs all the people in there that we can get. On the addiction, you'd think it's not my fight. I'm a professor here in a nice 5th floor office. I see the mountains shining over there. And I'm blessed to not suffer from addiction myself. But like almost everybody who's going to watch this, I have somebody I care about that I thought about the entire time making this movie. I made this movie for that person. And I hope one day that person will see it. And as you might know, addiction, it's really hard to know when to say something to somebody and how to make that happen. So if that person doesn't get to see it, I hope that somebody else's loved one realizes that change is needed and makes a better path for themselves.
Just by the trailer itself and the videos that I see on social media that you put out, you're gonna touch people. I'm excited about seeing the movie because not only is because my son is in it, but I support everyone that has created the Heart Program in Chesterfield, Virginia. But what makes me feel really good is that just from what I've seen, you're showing individuals, and I can tell by the way they speak, the way they carry themselves. People would think that people who are addicted to drugs, people who are on the street, strung out on drugs, they automatically come from bad homes. They think nobody loves them. They think they're not educated. They think they don't know anything. But I learned from attending the family nights up at the Heart Program, Miss Carrie taught me that addiction is a disease. So for you, way over there in Washington, the Heart Program, way on the East Coast of the United States, they got this program over there in Chesterfield. It's not a jail that has 1 million people. How in the world did you come across the Heart Program?
Yeah, so I can't name the artist, and I can't really give away a key plot point in the movie.
I
know. Your listeners might know. But I was in a concert, and I witnessed a pretty magical moment where somebody felt heard and somebody felt like that they matter and that they can do this, that they could overcome addiction. And given, as I said, my loved one, and I left that concert, and that the artist said, God's imagination was bigger than his own. And so dream big and anything's possible. And so I left that concert just knowing that anything's possible, knowing what I had to do. And what I had to do is tell stories about addiction recovery to inspire people to believe recovery is possible. And it's worth fighting for, and it's worth standing by somebody as they do that. And so that's the one moment, and that's one part of the story. Is I met somebody. I met somebody who had a similar experience as the inmates in Chesterfield, Virginia, and I was like, I've got to tell these two stories together.
Wow. I always say to other people, if you don't fight for me or what I believe in, fight for somebody. And I love that you're doing that. The title. Well, before we get to the title, I'd like to play a video that I saw you share on social media.
We might think not my kid or not my house until it is.
A lot of people here in these pictures, they're not here anymore.
We started seeing 25 people in our community being arrested every day who are heroin addicts and being brought to our jail. It overloaded our system here.
And addiction doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care how much money your parents have. It doesn't care what kind of house you live in. It doesn't care. It can grab anybody.
There was a day in March where the 10th citizen of Chesterfield County died of an overdose. And it was something about hitting that double digit that I just said, this is ridiculous.
Sometimes we are scared, but we need to do something.
I had to start releasing recovered addicts back into the community.
when a person realizes all of those consequences on their life, that's when they're ready.
I'm just tired of living the way I was.
Every individual has a different pathway to get to the same endpoint, which is lifelong recovery.
My last drink was before the Uber got here to take me to rehab.
This is a story of human life.
Story of being in that dark place and getting yourself out of it.
People can tell you what's possible, but when they show you what's possible, that's a whole nother level.
People can change. We do recover, and it's possible.
Wow. I've got to ask you, when you decided that you wanted to do this documentary on the Heart Program, when you met those people, Sheriff Leonard and Carrie and Dolan, were you surprised any at what they were doing?
Oh man, there's so many emotions that I just feel like everybody deserves a chance where they could go in to the Heart Program in Chesterfield, Virginia, and just immerse yourself. Like I left in tears with goosebumps, inspired, devastated. Like there was just so many emotions, and I'm trying to capture them in this film so that everybody else could see that there is a better way forward than feeling hopeless, both alone, hopeless if it's yourself, hopeless if it's somebody you love, hopeless if it's your community and you're seeing this ravage your community like so many are. HARP was just so many things. And I don't know if surprise is one of them, because what drew me to HARP was seeing something that was just shocking and amazing. But definitely I left hopeful, inspired, and just it's really life-changing. I can't express enough just being there what it feels like. And I really hope I captured that in the film.
Well, from what I seen so far, it looks like you've captured that. That program, I told you, at a university, and every now and then God will send somebody to confirm what you already are thinking or believe. And my sister comes downstairs one day and she says, Stacey, I want to introduce you to somebody that's been in the Heart Program. Older guy, spoke highly of them. I have to say to you, I was raised in a community where you love everybody. You don't look at skin color. You don't look at religion. However, in this world, people like Sheriff Leonard and Carrie and Dolan and the rest of them, they're reminding you that there are people and you on this earth that care about people, simply people. You know, I love the way that they're helping people. And you come up with this title, because I missed the title. I was so into looking at the video, What It Takes, right? What It Takes. I don't know the full story, what you have created here. Tell me, why What It Takes?
Yeah, so I was thinking I wanted to convey what it takes from you. So I think there's so many people who are suffering from addiction that don't realize they have a problem. And so I wanted to show what it takes from you. I wanted to show what it takes to realize enough is enough. It's time for change, whether it's time for change for yourself, time for change for somebody you love, or time for change in how your community addresses this. I want to show what it takes to recover. I think it's such a nebulous, it's such a scary thing, especially for people suffering from addiction or the loved ones who are watching this happen. It feels like this is impossible. And so many people, they recover shortly and then they bounce back. And then it's like, are they the only one? And will this never work for them? And the fact I wanted to show in this story that everybody has different pathways to recovery, and you see what it took for each of the individuals who have recovered in the film. And hopefully everybody can see something in themselves and say, that person has something that I've experienced and they've achieved something that I want to achieve. Now I see how I could get there. I see that I could get there, and I see how to get there. And so that's why What It Takes, because I want people to see what it takes to live the life you want to live.
You get it, Jeff Shulman. You get it. You absolutely get it. You get it. You can see beyond what's in front of you, but you're taking notice, and it feels like you're one of those people that you don't just say, I'm sorry for what you're doing. It seems like you can feel something, the parents, the family members, the people that are going through it. What was one of the biggest challenges as a filmmaker? And obviously this whole thing touched you. What was one of the biggest challenges you faced filming this?
That's the funny thing. This just felt meant to be. And I think that's one of the things in the movie is you see the individuals in the film finding like who they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to be doing. And this just felt meant to be. The odds that I met the family in California who let me film their story on that coast, and the devastation that addiction to alcoholism left in its wake. And then for me to just call up the sheriff or email the sheriff's public information officer for him to welcome me in there. I followed this Jawfox Productions on YouTube. He's a local cinematographer in Richmond, Virginia. I followed him on YouTube. I see the jail and I'm like, how am I going to film there? And I'm like, oh, this guy's from Chesterfield. So he came and helped me out and did some beautiful cinematography there. And then the story I just felt immersed in it. It just felt obvious, like how I would take the hours of footage and turn it into an 1.5-hour film that could move people, make people cry, make people laugh, and hopefully make people realize there's a better path forward.
Wow. Jeff, you saying you're a professor, you're a podcaster, you're a filmmaker. Okay. You're walking around filming everybody else, and you appear to have it together. When you talk to these people that you're filming, do you learn anything from them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, one, I don't envy them because I'm really scared as I go around promoting this tour that I'm going to be crying on camera because I was crying during some of the interviews. I cry when there's certain things I'm now learning, try not to say. Yeah, I also lost a friend to alcoholism, and his story mirrored up until the point where the person got help. And I just see that the person who got the help, like I see what his life could have been if he didn't. And yeah, so I lost track of what your question was, but absolutely. And you know what was amazing too is that like everybody we spoke to, all the individuals who they themselves have suffered from addiction or who lost somebody from addiction, they were all just so empathetic and giving me advice as to what to do as I watch and try to help. So I learned so much. And I think to give you a couple just sound bites, one, I learned is recovery is possible. Two, everybody's got their own pathway to recovery. And three, it's really important to just be there and welcome a conversation. So I'm trying not to force it, but to make sure that it's clear that we're there when somebody's ready to tell us what we already know.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Why do you think what you're doing? Okay. So you go in there, you do the documentary. Why do you think it's so meaningful? Like, why do you think it's so important that Sheriff Leonard and Carrie and them do what they do? I mean, people have programs all over the place. You know what I mean? What do you think? What's so special about them?
Yeah. So in case your listeners, we kind of alluded to it, but I just want to give it concrete in my words, what I think HARP does. And HARP stands for Helping Addicts Recover Progressively. They're one half of the film and of the documentary, What It Takes. And what they've seemed to do, what captured my attention is that Sheriff Leonard, Carrie Rhodes, and that whole group there have decided to end the cycle of addiction and incarceration. Just like here in Seattle and in communities around the country, we see people get addicted to drugs, and at some level, I don't want to just say then they break laws. There's all sorts of levels of addiction, but at some level, there's a large group that then the addiction is so hungry that they have to steal or rob or they lose their home. I mean, there's lots of things that it could take from somebody, and they come to jail. they do their time, they go back out, and they're right back on the drugs, and they're right back into criminal activity, and then they're right back in the jail. And so Harp said, people are coming in here, they're addicted, they're sick, and they're dying when they come out. Let's heal them. And so while they're in Harp, they're healing them with every treatment they could throw at it. So I lost track of the question, but that's what I think is special.
Right. You answered it. I love it because you're being honest. And I have to say, as a mother, I will be honest with you. My son and his addiction, he had been there once and he did good and he went back. But before he went back, I'll tell you this, dealing with somebody in your family with an addiction, I never thought as a mother, I would pray that the police would pick my child up. I prayed that Chesterfield County Police Department would pick my child up. I called, maybe one day Sheriff Linda can do something about this. I called and said, how can I have him picked up? But because he was grown, you couldn't do it. But eventually they picked him up, and that program has truly blessed him.
Yeah.
The big day is April 28th. I'm excited. Richmond, Virginia. Can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to see everybody. Can't wait to see the film. Have my family and friends there yelling whoop whoop too. What do you want people to leave the Byrd Theatre thinking about? Or how do you want them to be feeling?
Yeah. I want them to feel empathy, because if they haven't, for either somebody that they know who's suffering from addiction, or if they don't know somebody, seeing, I think the key is it's a real key phrase that Carrie Rhodes says in the film is that, you think it's not you, it's not your child until it is. And so this could happen to anybody. It cuts across race, it cuts across gender, it cuts across socioeconomic class. And so people need to know this could happen to them. And I think I want people to live hopeful and inspired to get the help for themselves or for their loved ones that they need.
Jeff Shulman, this has been great. What's coming up next?
What's coming up next?
What you got coming up next?
Well, this movie is taking a lot of my time. We're going to play in Ohio. We're going to play in Seattle. We're going to play in California. And if your listeners want to help bring it to another place or another city, we're looking to play in as many theaters as we can. And also we're offering organizations a chance to get like a screening kit so they can host it right where it could be most impactful.
Okay, sounds great. I'm looking forward to, I'll be following you. I'm looking forward to watching you grow, and I'm looking forward to what you will come up with next based on the brink and now what it takes. I can't imagine what you'll come up with next, but I want to see it. Hello, Angela Johnson. Angela, I believe you still have that great podcast show you have. And I wouldn't mind if you would try to connect with my guest to help him promote his documentary.
I love it.
I just thought I'd throw that out there. How do we follow you? Well, I know how to follow you. How do others follow you?
Yeah, right now I'm on Instagram at Prof. Jeff Shulman. And you can go to the website, www.whaittakesmovie.com, to find out where our screenings and our events are next. We're really trying to build a movie plus discussion so that these are not just a movie, but it's a night of hope and a night of healing and celebration of those who are taking step day by day and recovering.
Okay, so before you go, I'm going to play it one more time, and I just have one last question for you, okay?
Absolutely.
Let's see.
We might think not my kid or not my house until it is.
A lot of people here in these pictures, they're not here anymore.
We started seeing 25 people in our community being arrested every day who are heroin addicts and being brought to our jail. It overloaded our system here.
An addiction doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care how much money your parents have. It doesn't care what kind of house you live in. It doesn't care. It can grab anybody.
There was a day in March where the 10th citizen of Chesterfield County died of an overdose. And it was something about hitting that double digit that I just said, this is ridiculous.
Sometimes we are scared, but we need to do something.
I had to start releasing recovered addicts back into the community.
When a person realizes all of those consequences on their life, that's when they're ready.
I'm just tired of living the way I was.
Every individual has a different pathway to get to the same endpoint, which is lifelong recovery.
My last drink was before the Uber got here to take me to rehab.
This is a story of human life.
Story of being in that dark place and getting yourself out of it.
People can tell you what's possible, but when they show you what's possible, that's a whole nother level.
People can change. We do recover, and it's possible.
So, Jeff,
Yeah.
I'm walking down the street in Richmond, and me and my friends are walking, and we see the Byrd Theatre, and you're out looking around the city. We don't know that you're this big time filmmaker, right? And we start talking, and I say, "Hey, what brings you to town? You know, what are you going to say to me?"
I'm just the more I could be around Harp and what they're doing, the better. I think it's just so uplifting. And, if I turn off like my whole, like trying to be media present and so on, making the film, and as you see the story, you see the power of just like somebody believing in you and the power of like a little bit of grace and somebody caring. And this is a movie that I don't need anybody to show up to the Byrd Theatre on April 28th to feel like I won, because the way I connected with the individuals in the that were on the other side on the camera, it was totally worth it. So I think just the power, and that's another message I hope your audience takes from this, is that you just don't know what impact you could have when you listen, when you care, and when you do something to try to make somebody's life better when they're at their lowest.
Jeff, thank you. And if you told me that, I'd follow you to the Byrd Theatre and I'd get a ticket. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself and bless you. And I do hope to see you on April 28th.
Yeah, looking forward to getting a hug from you.
Oh, yeah.
Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, everybody. I told you he's not just someone that's walking around saying what he wants to do. He's a visionary. He's a creator. He's a filmmaker. Be sure to go on my page. I have put the link to the for the tickets in my comments. Be sure to get your ticket, come out and support, come out. You never know, you may learn something that you can share with someone else to bless them, okay? And like always, don't stress too much about yesterday. Don't worry too much about tomorrow, because if we do, we just might miss living today. Thank you.